we've got a lot of work to do. I thought we had a couple good practices, but you never know. Coming in here, I've seen Georgia Tech a couple times, and they're capable. I thought we did a good job with DeVoe. We just didn't let him get comfortable, and that was, he's one of the leading scorer in the league. So you do a good job on him. That's a big part of your defense. Yeah, when you make threes, it just changes the game. Marek gets the ball in the middle and is able to get in the lane and make plays out of the lane. I thought he was, good today. His numbers weren't, great, but they were, pretty good. Yeah, he was pretty good today. But Barama was good. He played defense. He, made some steals, got some rebounds. He's getting back to healthy. He was a big factor today. Every game's important. Every game for us is important. There's no one game. We've got to play them all, and you're going to have some ups and downs, but you got to be ready to play. And you don't get many easy games on the road. In this league, we've lost down here the last couple times, and I just think our movement was good and we made shots.
Welcome to the Cuse Militia podcast with those two unapologetically biased, orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
What's up, Cuse Nation? Thanks for tuning into the Cuse Militia podcast with Sean and Joe. If you like it, please share it. The universal handle for the socials is @Cuse Militia. Go there, join the militia. We are the only Syracuse sports podcast centered around giving you, the fans, a voice. Welcome. Happy Monday. It is
Happy Monday.
It is a day late, and we apologize. Blame Joe for that, as usual.
Yep.
So, look, hey, we did it.
Hey.
They did it. The Orange controlled the pace from start to finish against Georgia Tech. They scored 97 points on the road, final 97-63. And Syracuse improves to 5-4, 1-1 in the ACC. And we head to Georgetown. That's where we'll play our rivalry game next Saturday. So they get a week off, December 14th at 1 o'clock. And I guess it's on Fox. So we will give you the post game for Georgia Tech, and the Georgetown preview will come later this week. So, just so much stuff to fit in when you win,
Yeah.
Hey, you got
more to talk about, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, you got a big head. Do you want to win a hat? Look at this hat, Joe. It's nice, right? Look, that fitted.
Yeah, it's a nice hat. Nice hat. Yeah.
It's large, extra large. You can win this hat. All you got to do is go to iTunes. And maybe if you like the show, you want to give it 5 stars and embellish a little bit on a written review, do that. And we will pick a winner at random as soon as we get a handful of these. And you could win the hat. Everybody else can win a little swag as well. If you don't win the hat, you still get the swag. It's a win-win-win. You can't. There's no losing here. There's none at all. So go there, iTunes. That really helps us out when we get those reviews. And we greatly appreciate all of those who have already done so. So that is that. Let's talk about Blue Chew. Let's talk about them. If you want to increase your performance and get extra confidence in bed, listen up. BlueChew.com. That's blue like the color. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. So you know it works. You could take them anytime, day or night, on a full or empty stomach. And since they're chewable, they work up to twice as fast as a pill. So you can be ready whenever the opportunity arises. If you could benefit from extra function and more confidence where it counts, Blue Chew is the fast and easy way to enhance your performance. Blue Chew is prescribed online and it ships straight to your door in a discreet package, so no in-person doctor visit, no waiting in the pharmacy, and best of all, no more awkwardness. They're made in the USA, and since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than the pharmacy. Right now, we've got a special deal for our listeners. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free. When you use the special promo code Armchair, just pay the $5 shipping, get the pills for free. Again, that's BLUEChew.com, promo code Armchair. Try it for free. Blue Chew is the better, cheaper, faster choice. We thank them for sponsoring this podcast and Armchair Media. And remember, they don't promise any guaranteed results, and it does not cure any disease. So, with that said, I've got good news, I've got bad news. Your mic is rubbing all over your hood or something.
No, my bad, buddy.
So we got good news. We got bad news, Joe.
Yeah, what's the good news?
The good news is we had a wide receiver commit over the weekend. Damian Alford, a 6'5", 210-pound wide receiver. He picked Syracuse over such schools as Georgia, Oklahoma, Miami, Florida, Florida State, Tennessee, Penn State, and a few more. He's rated 3 stars, and he's ranked 119th best player at his position and 101st best player in the whole state of Florida. Now, remember, the state of Florida pulls some talent. So that says a lot, 101st. And this is all according to 24/7 Sports. He said, I quote, "It feels like home, no more visits." So he sounds.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, that's pretty positive sounding. So 6'5", 210, Joe.
Yeah, the interesting thing here is that he moved from Canada down to Florida. This past year. So interesting. No wonder why it feels like home, right? So
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I looked at his tape, and obviously there's going to be some weaknesses and there's going to be some strengths, and you got to look at the fact that you are going against high school kids, and he is 6'5". So there were some things where it was just like, wow, unfair matchup. But he does they did some wide receiver screen stuff and a lot of like fades and posts and slants and stuff like that. So get some size in here from from Canada, state of Florida, same thing. It's helped us out. So,
yeah, absolutely. So the bad news is we had the commit. We talked about Charles Bell, the 5th back before the season started. He was going to be in the class of 2020, defensive back, and he decommitted. He said in a Twitter post to respect my decision. He's going to open his options back up. He's 5'11", 195 pound.
Yeah. I kind of like that guy.
3-star rated guy. Yeah, I know. Here's the thing with me, and I agree with you. Like, I agree that there's certain prospects you look at and you're like, yeah, this is going to be something, or you get it, you just get good. You get a good feeling, and you feel confident about certain players coming in. But I don't know, man. It's disappointing, but on the other hand, too, I mean,
you never know till they're here and you see what they got, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's like it is what it is. I almost feel like basketball's a little different. You know what I mean? It's more black and white. I feel like with basketball, you kind of know what you're going to get with basketball more than you do football, I think. So anyway.
Yeah, I guess you never know when it comes down to the physical aspect. A lot of times, there's a lot of kids that are more physically ready, and I guess you really don't have to be. Yeah, I mean, obviously college basketball, basketball is a physical sport, but it's not the same as football. So again, it's not really a lot of situations where true freshmen can come in and help all the time. You see it more in college basketball. So yeah, I was a little upset about the decommit. I liked the commit, the one receiver commit, and I guess we'll just see what happens here. I think we're only 10 days away from the early signing period day. So I guess we'll see what happens. I think this next week and a half will be pretty busy. So
yeah, it's going to be busy. It's going to be busy again. And we've got, thankfully we got a little bit of time here for the rivalry game coming up. And it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out once that game finishes up too, heading in when we got 3 kind of, I don't want to say gimmies. Nothing's a gimme, but there's 3 kind of easier games.
North Florida, Oakland, and Niagara.
Yeah, less competitive, let's just say.
Yes.
And get a little bit of a break after Georgetown. It's going to be interesting to see what that game against Georgetown at Georgetown is going to look like. But the Orange did bag a much-needed win in Atlanta. Despite entering the game as a 3-point underdog, I had a hard time personally wrapping my head around this game while it was being played. I didn't understand. I mean, I was sitting here like, is Georgia Tech this bad, or has something clicked for the Orange? And, only time will tell. Hughes helped fuel a 14-0 run with 3 straight threes. They took a 17-4 lead at that point, and Cuse never looked back. As a team, Syracuse shot 14-33 from distance, 50.9% from the field, and the Orange defense held the Yellow Jackets to 38.1% as a team from the field. Hughes led the Orange with a career-high 33 points, but that didn't stop about 10 students that attended the game to yell "air ball" every time he touched the ball, which is just is not only stupid, but I mean, he lit their asses up. So,
well, considering they were down 30 something, yeah,
yeah. I mean, you got to be extremely bored to sit there and pay, to do that and be that antagonistic when you're getting your asses kicked that bad.
No, I guess there was nothing else better to do.
Right, exactly. But that's what I mean by bored. Those 33 points, most an opponent has scored on Georgia Tech at their home court. And Buddy, he got hot in the second half. He scored a career high as well with 26. With that said, one of the biggest takeaways, besides the 33 points, besides the two stars of that team having their best games point wise in the career in an orange jersey, the 17 minutes Howard Washington played, probably his best minutes that he's ever played in orange uniform. We talked about adversity. We talked about the adversity as a team overcoming that. They did that. You want to talk about someone that's overcome some adversity? It's Howard Washington. And he scored 2 points, and that came at the line, but he added 8 assists and 1 steal on defense. And I just look forward to seeing what kind of role that he might play going forward. Did he jump over Goodine? I don't know. I mean,
it's kind of what it looks like, right?
It kind of looks. I mean, if the trend holds, it looks that way because Goodine struggled. That was probably the only rough spot of the game, I guess. Really, I mean,
he doesn't look like he's ready. Obviously, he comes in. He looks timid. He loses the ball, and we don't have to worry about that with Howard Washington. And again, he brings a little height. He has long arms. Yep. He's 6'3", 6'4". So he was poking the ball around, getting his hands on some things, and obviously the 8 assists. He's an unselfish player, so he's not
a facilitator, man. Yeah,
and he'll shoot the open shot, and he's made some threes this year. He's worked on his shot through the offseason, but this is one of those guys that I thought was probably going to get lost in the shuffle, and for all intents and purposes, he was in the beginning, right? If Carey comes out and performs,
true,
and Gerard does what he does, or Goodine does a little bit better, then he's probably still on the bench. But at this point, with Carey's injury and Goodine in the way that he's been playing, he's kind of forced Boeheim's hand to the point where he's got to go with Washington. And now this is what we talked about earlier in the year when we were speculating on who's possibly going to be the guys who transferred or wasn't going to find a role or a home on this roster, right? And
it's tryouts. It's tryout time.
And we talked about it. We said, when they get an opportunity, when they get a chance to take advantage of it. And right now he's got the opportunity, I feel like, to kind of grab that backup guard role by the horns and kind of take it and carve out a role. I mean, obviously you don't know what's going to happen.
Even with his defense in if he's got guys that he can get the ball the hot hand with the defense and being able to facilitate, it's almost all you need sometimes.
Yeah. And again, I mean, you're obviously going to have the growth of Goodine, and you're going to have Carey coming back from the injury. So you have this time right now to kind of see. Now, obviously, I'm looking at Jalen Carey as most likely a redshirt candidate with missing 8 to 10 weeks, obviously. So, again, that's really what it comes down to. If Goodine if he can grow and he can get better in practice, I'm sure Boeheim's still going to try to get him in there and sprinkle him in there when he can. But for right now, it looks like he's kind of taking a role,
Yeah.
Robert Braswell's had a little bit of, couple more minutes against some of these teams. And it just seems like he hasn't been able to really shine like Howard has. So again, Boeheim, we knew he was going to do it with the depth. If he didn't play or if the guys weren't ready, if you weren't playing defense, he was going to put some guys out there. So,
well, the second time this team has scored 97 points this year, which is crazy. I would have never guessed that they were going to score 97 points against Georgia Tech. I never saw it coming. But boy, when they started that game off and Hughes was just like, I didn't think he was going to miss a damn shot. He was so good. That's what
it ends up feeling like, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I mean, Georgia Tech, they looked a little lethargic coming out the gate. They didn't look, sometimes noon games on the weekends, that can happen.
Yeah,
it's happened to us before, right?
Yeah,
it's happened
absolutely.
to us at 7:00 games on a Tuesday. But, it's just, you come out like that and you hit those shots, and that's kind of demoralizing. Well, they took a 2-0 lead, and the next thing you know, it was 9-2, and then 12-4. And
17-4.
Yeah. And then you can't. So, and honestly, when you look at the numbers, it could have been worse. I mean, we shot really good. The free throws obviously really
83% at the line, 25 for 30, obviously the best of the year there.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at we had 17 turnovers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
17 turnovers to their 19 turnovers. So, if we take care of the ball a little bit better, then that could have been possibly even worse. So,
yeah, and
again,
you look at the score and you look at how well they were scoring and how easy they were able to score. And it seems like, did it click or did it click? But, I tend to always remain cautiously optimistic, with my obvious concern being, consistency. Or just, you know what I'm saying? So we see these things in you and I and many others, and probably a lot of guys and gals who listen. You don't want to get up over your skis after a game like this, and the highs and lows of being a Syracuse fan. You got to just remain in the middle. If you remain in the middle, then
you do not expect this every game. Exactly. Is what Sean's trying to say. Okay,
exactly. Exactly.
Short verse.
It was a great game. We're going to face a Georgetown team that is basically, I mean, Syracuse, if you want to look at it, there's blood in the water there. And
we can talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. But I'm just saying, having this game and looking forward, the confidence that we've talked about with this team and how badly they thrive on confidence in good shooting out of the gate. Because that's always been key for any Syracuse team. If they can shoot well to start the game, it tends to be more so than not it's the trend for the game. If they start slow, rarely do they get really hot and tear it up. So they're not a come from behind team.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, too. Just to go back to, just that whole stand up and clap thing, right? I mean, I think it's great. First basket, I get it. It's cool. Right?
But for some reason, though, hold on a second. For some reason, I don't think you think it's really that cool. But go on.
Just the premise of it.
You think it's too much pressure?
I think it's a little bit of pressure, number one. And number two, I think that it's just kind of it can sometimes start the wrong message. Like, think about it. We're standing up clapping before anything happens, which is kind of ass backwards anyway. But on top of that,
great point. Did you think of? I've never really thought about this. Did you think? When did you think of this? While you were taking a dump or something?
No, just when you were just talking. And so now what you're doing is essentially the players, they're playing to make a basket, so
they're like,
fans
"Oh my
can sit
gosh,
down.
I want you guys to sit. It's been 5 minutes. Oh my gosh, they're still standing."
But it's not even the players. It's the fans. The fans are sitting there clapping like, "Oh." I mean, it's really backwards to me, right? So realistically, the fans are clapping for you to make a basket so they can sit down.
Yeah,
that's just it. Doesn't. I don't know. I'm sorry. That's just it just came to my head, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. And sometimes it's just. I have
definitely been watching a game by myself, and it was just very awkward. And all I'm doing is watching the TV. It's just awkward sometimes. It's like, oh my gosh, it's been 4 minutes, and these people are still standing clapping, and they have not made a field goal yet.
Right, and the exact opposite thing you want your team to do, which is stand up and clap, is what they do when you make a basket. They sit down. That just doesn't make.
How about we stand up? The whole place stands up and claps after the first bucket.
Right.
Right.
How about everyone stands up, doesn't clap, and then as soon as the bucket goes through, then everybody claps loudly, cheers loudly. Then you can sit down, take it. I mean, something. I don't know. I just was thinking about it, and it was just kind of, like I said, it just seemed a little ass backwards. I know it's tradition, and I'll still do it.
It's really, I used to know the story on this, and it has something to do with another team that did it, or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was in the Army, and I was watching Syracuse games in my room, if anybody wanted to be in there and watch the game in the beginning, everyone stood up until they made everybody stand up until they made a basket. And that was the year they won the national championship. Sure, before I got deployed. So it's Carmelo Anthony. It's pretty awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, excellent game for Syracuse, obviously.
Yeah.
Your buddy, in Joe Girard, what he scored? 10 points? But he did, he pissed coach off. I think it's really good for a guy like Girard to get a dose of a Boeheim beatdown. Because it's how he's going to learn. He's made some really bad turnovers. He's traveling. He's thrown a bunch of balls away. He's actually had a couple just stripped out of his hands. For a really good ball handler, I mean, he's been stripped pretty easily a couple of times. So, it's good to have him get beat up on the sideline by coach and get the glare and have a seat and be humbled, and
Right.
when you've got as many people that can come in and play, it's not such a big deal. So, I don't know. We'll see. Gerard's still struggling. I think he still might be struggling with the pace of the game. If we remember last year, Buddy Boeheim was the same way. He was the
Early.
same way. Yeah, early. He had a couple of good games, but he struggled when we played some stiff competition. He struggled. And then by the end of the year, I mean, you could tell this kid is going to be a star, And I still think that, and maybe a little bit this year for Buddy too, starting over
There's
again.
going to be just so much growth. It's just, that's the whole thing. Again, we've talked about it. We've hit it every single time. You just got to rear back the expectations. And again, this is just one of those games against a team that obviously it's not a lower conference team. So it's the first team that we've beaten like this, the first ACC win. And it kind of showed you what this team could be when things kind of go their way, albeit like we talked about, you could definitely tell the difference between the big men.
Absolutely.
And although Georgia Tech had some big men, you could tell the difference between the offensive skill between them and
not as athletic.
some of the other teams that we played against and guys we played against. So
DeVoe,
it has a little bit to do with it.
DeVoe too, 38 minutes and let's see, 7 points. So talking about
and Alvarado being out too.
Obviously,
that's part of the game. Obviously, the Georgia Tech's a better team with him in there. Obviously, so.
But DeVoe's he's one of the leading scorers in the ACC. So
he was the leading scorer in the ACC before that game. So
okay, well there you go. So, anyways, they had a game plan on defense and they stuck to it. Now, my only question, that being Syracuse, the only really unknown that I have. I mean, you heard Coach and the coach montage say, he's seen Georgia Tech this year play pretty good. I've never watched Georgia Tech this year, so I can't really speak to it. I know that you've got some good players on that team. Obviously, we remember some of them from last year, but when you look at it, is their defense that great? Because I mean, I don't know. Is it a mediocre defense? I don't know. I know they score more usually, so there's that. But they just got behind quick.
Yeah, they have. Well, they usually have a random zone, and I think Pastner really couldn't do anything about it. Last year, they killed us on it. The last couple of years, we've kind of struggled on it. But again, I think Boeheim talked about that with the fact that this year we have shooters. I mean, that's not to say that Battle and Howard and Brissett couldn't hit threes, but they are not the jump shooters that we have on this team. And when you have those type of shooters, you can shoot defenses out of the zone, and that's exactly what we did. And it's funny when you can get a couple years of trying to break down a zone and some players playing against it, and you get some shooters, and it's just funny to see the difference between teams and how you can break that defense down. So our team, sports is a game of matchups, man, and this was just a good matchup, and they were down a good player, and Elijah Hughes, he came from blood, and there never was a question about that game, man.
Laser focused, and you could see it right from the get go. And I'm just going the whole time. I'm going, what is going on here? For one, and for two, are they going to blow this lead? Could that actually happen? And then it blew up to it got close to 30. I'm like, ain't no damn way. It ain't happening. Yeah, this game's over.
But you hit on it earlier, dude. This year is going to be the year of consistency, because we're not going to play like that every game. And you've seen the struggles that we've had against some of the other teams, and some of them have proven to be pretty good teams. I don't think any of the 4 losses that we have are bad losses, and I don't think we'll be looked at as really bad losses when it comes down to it at the end of the year. But I'm more or less waiting to see what happens when they get in a dogfight. Guys, you look at our schedule thus far this year, and wins and losses alone, I mean, what are they? You look at the losses, what's our closest loss? 14?
Yeah, we got crushed almost every time we lost.
Our closest loss is 14. Our closest win is 16. We haven't been in a single point game, win or lose.
No cardiac use yet this year.
We haven't been in a dog. Yeah, well, you can't count on blowing out every ACC opponent. That's
Absolutely
not going to happen.
No.
So what happens when the pressure's on and you're in a dogfight and there's they're under 4 minute timeout and it's tied and you got to go there and get that win? That's yet to be seen from this team, and those are the games that we're going to need to win to make this tournament. So Again, it's going to come down to consistency, but we're not going to beat every team like that.
Obviously not. No,
I don't think that we're as good as what we were in Georgia Tech. I don't think we're as bad as what we were previously shooting against the other fourth losses. I think we're somewhere in the middle, but again, it's going to be the grit and determination and how we play the team in those dogfights, those close games, and that's just yet to be seen. And we might be in one Saturday.
Yeah, the Saturday's game worries me a little bit. It's worth mentioning too. The Battle of the Boards is won by the Orange. What was it, 30-40, Joe? 40 to 30, me?
30.
Yeah,
40 to 30.
So by 10, that's big to me. Like I got to see the rebounds, man, because I just feel like this team is just. It feels like if they lose the Battle of the Boards 2 games in a row, it feels like the whole season to me for whatever reason. It's really frustrating for me to watch, and I'm not real sure why.
23 assists. 23 assists was a good number for 14 steals
on 28 scores, right? On 28 baskets, right? It was something like that. What was it? Oh, I think it was 23 assists.
We had 20. We had 20 stocks.
Okay. All right. Either way, it was high. 23 assists on like 28 baskets, something like that.
23 assists on 29 baskets.
Oh, okay. There you go. 29. That's phenomenal. That's big time.
You know that's that new stat now, right? Stocks. You heard about that, right?
No. No.
Yeah, stocks, steals and blocks added up.
What?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Stocks. We had 20 stocks.
That's terrible. that's so bad. All right.
It's not mine.
I know it's not yours. Okay. All right. Well, whatever. All right.
I'm just saying that number matters.
That number does matter, but each individually also.
20 to 10 in stocks.
All right. 20 to 10 in stocks. Is this something we're going to do every game now? I mean, we can make it a thing. Where'd you get it from?
Go on.
Don't do this backhand thing to me. Stop. I never backhand you via Skype, bro. I would never do that. It's disrespectful.
Dude, we're
disrespectful.
Away, bro. We're a state away. I was swatting a fly.
I was in your state today.
Oh, were you?
And I was in your state Friday, by the way. All right, cool. Look. Attention. If you like to bet online, I have got a deal for you. If you don't know already, MyBookie, great sponsor of this show. Loyal, proud sponsor of this show, MyBookie is. If you do not know what betting online is all about, go ahead, research it, see if it's right for you. If you do know what it's about and you have used sportsbooks before, go ahead and try MyBookie out. I have got a hell of a deal for you. You don't even need to be a Cuse fan, and you don't even need to bet on sports. It doesn't matter whether you're experienced or first time. MyBookie welcomes all that come to play. So quit waiting around and sign up today. Just log on to mybookie.ag and make your first deposit. If you use the promo code CHAIR, MyBookie will match your deposit dollar for dollar to jumpstart your bankroll. Up to $1,000, they will match you dollar for dollar. So, it's simple. Go to mybookie.ag. Type in the promo code CHAIR, CHAIR. Get that dollar for dollar match. You can do $20. You can do $200. Get the 100% deposit match. So go to MyBookie one more time. MyBookie.ag. Use the promo code CHAIR. Get that deal. You play, you win, you get paid. Thanks, MyBookie. So it is time. And
for
it's time.
Feedback.
That's okay.
It's time to hear from you, the loudmouths from the Loud House.
All right, guys, you know what to do. At the end of every game, I propose a question, and it prompts you to leave your feedback. It'll say thoughts on the game. It's that simple. Look, so there was a lot of the same, so it was really tough for me to try to pick some stuff that would create conversation and be a little different. So
right.
Let's start with, sometimes it's really hard, sometimes it's really easy. Let's start with at GMACHB. Turning the corner? Question mark. Any road win is a big win. Now, look, turn the corner. We don't know. We won't know until after Georgetown. So after Georgetown, We will see during that game.
No, we still might not know.
We still might not know, but I will say this, though. Coming out of Georgetown, if we did, hypothetically just speaking, if we won that game and we have those other 3 games, that's only going to help to go on that stretch. That would be a 5-game stretch.
Right.
If we could win them all.
That's
If we could win them all.
Confidence and continuity stretch, yeah.
Right, yes. So turn the corner. Well, we won't see. I'm not going to buy after one game. I can't buy that. I have to hold. So any road win is a big win. Absolutely. I saw some negativity. I saw a little bit of negativity saying, at Terry Keys, for example, don't get too excited. Georgia Tech is not a tourney team. Well, how do we know? How do we know if Georgia Tech isn't a tourney team?
I think because they're actually on sanctions and they can't make it to the postseason.
Oh, that's right.
So.
Technically they are not a tournament team.
Technically, he's absolutely right. They could win every single game, and they're not going to be a tournament team. But
That's right.
he's probably right in that sense. I think Alvarado being hurt probably hurt their chances a little bit. They'd have to go on a tear in the ACC. He's not coming back until December 31st against Florida State, so they're already going to be in ACC play again. So he's probably right. And again, I think I kind of agree with him. I like the positivity, but I don't like the over the board positivity with, turning the corner as long as you're saying turning the corner, like, okay, they're getting a little better and not turning the corner. We're here. Like,
yeah. Well,
it depends on how sharp you're trying to turn that corner, I guess. Because like I said, until we get into a dogfight and it's close games and we got pressure's on.
There has not been any of that this year.
No, I don't think there has. I don't think that they've been in a competitive game under 5 minutes.
The beginning of the Cornell game
6,
was
7.
tight. The first half of the Cornell game was tight.
I'm not talking, but I'm not even talking. I'm telling you, at the end of the game.
I know that.
I mean,
Never. Not
how many
this whole
games
year.
did there last under 10 minutes? What games have they been in?
None. They either were blowing them out or they were getting their asses kicked. One or the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when you're.
Go ahead.
No, I'm going to let you go. I already stole your open. I'm sorry about that. I didn't. I was just joking around. I thought you were going to keep talking.
No.
But you were like, all right, we'll just go right into fan feedback. So, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Well, I mean, this is unrehearsed. If not now, when 84? Hughes was insane, but he got hot later. Literally total domination from start to finish. Georgia Tech looked like they quit 2 minutes into the second half. Absolutely must win. Let's start a run. Go Cuse. Joe. It was as much of a must win this early as anything, but was it really a must win, you think? I mean, I'm right there on it. I'm right on the cusp of calling it a must win. Just for morale's sake, for crying out loud. Has nothing to do with the end of the season, but just for freaking confidence and morale, team morale, just to get a team win like that, I would agree with that. Maybe not for the tournament's sake or anything like that, but
yeah, I mean, the way that this fan base is and the way it goes, I think that we could have. Obviously, you're going to have the guys that are the fans that are upset no matter what when they lose. You're going to have the people that are going to be able to justify why they lost a game at Georgia Tech if they were to lose. And I think we could have lost at Georgia Tech. People would have been mad for a week. And then it would have came down to the Georgetown game. And if we were to beat Georgetown and then we go and we beat North Florida and Oakland and Niagara to finish out the non-conference and win 4 in a row, then it would be probably the same reaction that we're reading right now. So it all really depends, I think, on personal opinion. If you look at numbers-wise and the fact that we have so many more games left, it's definitely not a must-win. But again, like you said, just for morale and that the thought of us even being a tournament team, then yeah, I'd say that was
just to lift the fans' spirits, lift their spirits. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, they don't care as much as we care, guys. That's the truth. Right, Joe? You think that's fair to say? Like, I know they care, but we dwell on that stuff way more than they do.
Well, because they got to be on to the next one.
Right. Well, exactly.
And we sit there and wait for the next one and talk about it. So, yeah, again, that's really how it works as far as, like you said, is we more dwell and talk about it more. They go through the game, the experience, and the emotions after the game, whether it's a win or a loss, then they probably sleep on it, look at tape the next day, and then it's on to the next one. We're going to sit here. If we would have lost to Georgia Tech, we would have been talking about this loss for a week. So,
well, like we did last year. At DFin01 says, glad we were able to get them back after last year's embarrassing loss in the Dome. Also thought Howard Washington earned starter minutes, or at least more. Edwards is looking better. Feel like he could play more as well. So, Howard's not a starter, I don't think. But I will say, if he can stay as good as he was, he's another one when it comes down to individual consistency. He needs to show that. And along with Gerard, to be quite honest with you. So when it comes down to that, I agree. But I think getting Howard in the game against Georgia Tech was very important. I think it was very important for Howard himself. And I think it was a great call to give him 17 minutes. It's really good. It's a lot of time.
Yeah.
So,
well, some would argue that Boeheim probably gave Godin more opportunities than he really probably even deserved.
Yeah,
right. So,
based out, well, it's always based off of what he does, what they do in practice, which we don't see.
Exactly. Which again, a lot of stuff. I was just going to say that's speculating. What goes on in practice and the fact that. Again, he was a highly rated recruit, so I think that they were looking for him to take a role on this team, especially when Carey got hurt. But again, sometimes just people aren't ready, and that's fine. That's okay. It's not a problem. But, who's going to step up? And again, Howard stepping up. I think right where his minutes are. I think his minutes probably depend on Gerard's minutes because realistically, you're not going to have both of them in there, and you're going to be basically using – those minutes to spell the other guy. So that's basically going to depend on Gerard.
At Oil Cuse, and I'm just throwing this one in there because it's right here. He says, you guys said Georgia Tech was good. WTF happened? Well, see, here's the thing with the previews. Here's a little secret that we're just going to tell you. We don't ever act like any team's bad. Right?
Exactly.
So it's
all in the eye of the beholder, buddy.
Yes. We're just throw out the stats and tell you the worst of it. Just to give, bring down your confidence level a little bit, to just ground you. So
yeah, I mean, to our defense, they were 4-2. They were 1-0 in the ACC.
They beat
had already
NC State.
beaten NC State.
Yeah.
Right? They just got done beating Nebraska in the Big Ten ACC Championship at home by 17.
Yeah.
So again, and based upon the way that we've been playing, I think that we were pretty justified. And if you want to get on us, Vegas had us as an underdog as well. So
yeah,
I don't know. Look, WTF, because we don't know either, buddy. But all I know is I liked it.
Yeah.
So,
hey, I'll be that wrong all the time, Patrick. All the time.
Mm-hmm.
Happy to be that wrong. Brian on Facebook, top fan Brian on Facebook. He says Howard Washington played a big part in that game and should, for the rest of the year, great passer in movement in the offense instead of everyone standing around. Yeah, the ball movement was great. They were active. One thing I noticed is that they never looked tired. They never looked like they got wore out. I mean, they were just freaking nailing it. Now, Georgia Tech, on the other hand, they looked gassed. So, and a lot of that has to do with getting your ass kicked, right? So it's body language. To do with it.
Yeah. I mean, when you're in the zone and you're playing, you got the adrenaline going that way. Then yeah, it can definitely help as far as the whole endurance process type thing. And again, when you get your butt kicked, you don't want to be out there anymore. So even if you're not tired, sometimes people tend to look at just because they're just disinterested and they just want it to be over with. Yeah. Even though it's really not. Obviously, that's simple. People are out there trying, obviously, but when you're down 30 with 10 minutes to go, there's really nothing you can do.
One more about Howard. Coach Jeff, not a top fan, but we're gonna read his comment anyway because that's how we are. Having firsthand knowledge of what Howard's been through, it was amazing to see what he's done on the court and played within himself and got minutes. I hope you continue to see its playing time race by doing well. Best of luck, Howard. So, good to see. We talked about him overcoming some adversity. Obviously, last year had a stroke. Very I mean, it's amazing that, he came out of that as quick as he did, and he was actually on the court after that last year.
Oh, I mean, that can end people's careers. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, which is why I threw those 3 comments in, because I feel like it is it's due, and I just hope that that this can be something, a great storyline for this year. I really hope that. It
already is a great story. It is. For somebody to be able to come back from that and actually be.
I'm talking about this year. To play a big role. He has not played a role really at all. And to play a role and be a part of this team in 10, 15 minutes a game, something like that would just be great. It would be great. I love those types of stories. The kid has a great freaking attitude, and he's a fighter, man. And he's out there, and he just wants the ball. So.
Yep. Whether he's on the bench or he's on the court, he's got a great attitude.
Absolutely.
Great teammate.
Yep, absolutely. So, top fan Daryl, he says, I missed the game. I had to work. I'm pissed. Great win. Dude, I wish they had something that, like, if you had to work and there was an SU game on, like, you could record it while you were, like, working. And then when you were done working, you could come back.
Oh, you mean like a VCR?
Huh? Oh,
like a VCR.
Yeah, VCR. Yeah. Yeah, but without the tape and all that,
Oh, like a DVR.
Yeah, maybe. What's that stand for?
That's digital video recorder.
Yes, that's perfect. You should invent that, Joe. I'm kidding, Daryl.
I'll do my best.
I'm kidding. You missed a great game, though. Chris says Eli's thumb was taped up on his shooting hand, hiding new robotics. Maybe. we'll never know.
It was taped up last game too.
Yeah, it was taped up last game, and we never even talked about it.
No, it's because you didn't hit all those.
Yeah. Jake says, who was that team? Here's a key to winning. Hit shots. Well, yes, obviously. So, anyways, it was fun to watch, and I hope that we can continue. We will see, and we will be bringing it to you, obviously. I think probably we're a day late with this.
$1 short.
So, day late. Well, speak for yourself, buddy.
Hey, man, speaking of Eli, buddy.
What?
Eli Manning back on the schneid. Just threw his second touchdown.
Oh, he's playing right now?
Beating Philly 17-3. Yeah, Daniel Jones is out.
Oh, I'll root for the Giants with Eli in. Let me just say, buddy, while we're off Syracuse sports real quick, I don't even know if you know this, Joe, but Cole Pern walked away from NASCAR today. So, very, very sombering day for me.
Not only did I not hear that, I don't know who Cole Pern is.
Come on. Cole Pern, man. Cole Pern. Come on. He's Martin Truex Jr.'s crew chief, man.
No.
They won more races than any driver crew chief combo the past 4 years. Finished 4th, 1st, 2nd, and 2nd in the championship the last 4 years, something like that. So, it sucks. Anyway, no one else cares.
It's got to end sometime.
Well, he walked away from NASCAR to spend time with his kids. So, at least he's not going into another team. So, I want to thank MyBookie. Go to MyBookie and go enter the promo code CHAIR. They will match your deposit dollar for dollar. Hey, I want to thank also Blue Chew. Go to BlueChew.com, enter the promo code ARMCHAIR, and they'll give you your first shipment free. Just pay the $5 shipping. I want to thank all of you. Thank you for participating in fan feedback. Thanks for listening. Obviously, we appreciate y'all. Get those reviews and ratings in. You got to give us the 5 stars. I don't even think they can go less than that, so you might as well just put 5 down. And do a written review. You got to write a review for me to get your name. If you just hit the stars, I don't know who you are. You got to write the review to be entered to win the hat and the swag. You get both. So thanks to all of you. We appreciate it. Joe appreciates it too, believe it or not.
I do.
Thanks to James on guitar. For Joe, I'm Sean. We're out.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Cuse Militia Podcast, the fan's voice with Sean and Joe.